like we're set for 10 years from now, but like right now I'm like, we're coming to a cash crunch where we're going to end up at zero. And so, thank God I didn't. I actually went and I applied for a company that I quit my job in 2021.
Yeah.
And thank God they didn't get back to me, because I was like, you know what? This single family thing worked pretty well for us. So then we started marketing again for single family. Last year we did 650,000 in revenue for single family. This year we're on track. We'll do just about double that.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest is an investor across several different asset classes: single, small multifamily, larger multifamily in Nebraska. Please welcome Wyatt Simon. Wyatt, welcome to the show.
Dylan, thanks for having me here. Excited to be here.
It's great to have you on here. I always like to start off at the top of the show by asking guests how they got into the real estate space.
So my story is unique. I would say I grew up in Colorado, went to a super small college in Nebraska where I played college basketball called Doane College. That's where 5'11" white guys go to play basketball. It's NAIA D2, so it's like the lowest level that still gives out scholarships, but I got my college paid for, so there you go. After I didn't make it to the NBA, which was my number one dream, all I wanted to do was make it to the NBA. Well, my dreams got crushed, and then I pivoted and I was like, okay, well, what do I want to do with my life? And I just knew that I didn't want to be broke. I remember watching Shark Tank and seeing Mark Cuban on there, and I was just like, man, I want to do that. But I had no idea what I was doing. So eventually I ended up taking a sales gig in Colorado, where I was from. And my first job out of college was I worked for a home buying company, the largest home buying company in Colorado, and I started running their leads for them. And that was my introduction to real estate, where it was like, oh my gosh, these guys are making so much money. Like, this is how this works. The problem was, for me at the time, I had no sales experience. And so they gave me a bunch of leads, and I bought 3 houses in 9 months for them, which did not cut it. I was, to give you context, I was literally negative net worth. I was so broke. I was renting a house with 2 other dudes at the time. And I literally threw my rented room up on Airbnb and slept on the couch just so I could afford to go to concerts with my friends. Like, I was batching it. It was not good.
Give me an idea.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
What year is this that you got started with this acquisitions company?
Yeah, so this was 2017.
So
So
2017, I wasn't active then. I certainly wasn't active in Colorado, but I have an idea of what the market was like. A lot of fix and flip, a lot of wholesale happening, but it's still not to the point where it's like inundated, where you had a little bit later on, like where it felt like everyone was a flipper, everyone was a wholesale. It was a good time to be involved, right?
it was a good time. I mean, there was 4 other guys at the company that were making money for sales guys, right? And then there was me who was not. I was skimping by. But I knew that I wanted to buy real estate. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? And it's just like, oh man, this is what I want. Problem is, I didn't have any money. I didn't have a consistent job. Like, didn't have income to get a loan, and I was broke, dude. Like, it was just not good. And so eventually I ended up taking a job in Omaha, Nebraska, where my girlfriend, now wife at the time, was. And that job allowed me to go get loans for properties. So I bought my first house hack. This is in 2018. Bought my first house hack and eventually got going on that. Eventually I stumbled across the BRRRR strategy.
Yeah.
And that BRRRR strategy allowed me to be able to use money out of thin air to buy real estate, to improve the value, to refi it back out. So essentially I could buy real estate with no money. And when I learned that light bulb, I was like, dude, this is it. So then I just started BRRRRing. And, I've BRRRRed over 65 properties, single family, multifamily, office, you name it at this point. So I've really exploited that strategy in my journey to now.
I want to ask you about
yeah.
the BRRRR strategy, but I also want to ask you about that first deal. So let's pocket the BRRRR strategy for a minute. I want to come back to that, but I want to ask you about that first deal. So you're in Nebraska, you're in a new area. I imagine other than your now wife, you didn't know too many people in Nebraska, but you got involved, it sounds like, in maybe the lending space. So you saw another way. Okay, here's how I can potentially gain access to capital. I know people now. How did the first deal come about? Where did you find it? Was it on market, off market? Walk me through that first deal.
Yeah. So that first deal, I'll preface this. So I got a job, I got okay at my job, and then I got qualified for a mortgage and I bought a duplex. So that was like, I house hacked, right? So that was like, I got a place and I did that. All the while, I asked my parents, who were not rich by any means. They were, very middle to lower class, but they had enough that they had me very late in life. They had their house paid off in cash. And I asked them, would you guys take a line of credit on your house to let me use it to do this BRRRR thing? And they said, absolutely not. I was like, all right. And so anyways, fast forward 9 months later, I had bought a duplex. I had gotten a better job and I started house hacking and I'd gone to all the events. I was reading all the books. Eventually I convinced them. They said, okay, we'll try one. So then I scoured the market and literally, Dylan, I got fired by 4 real estate agents. I put out 42 offers, and on that 42nd offer, they still said no, but 2 weeks later they said yes. And so finally I got one 6 months later after putting out offers, going to work during the day, putting out offers during the night, getting fired by 4 agents that didn't want to take a 22-year-old out on a showing, right? And finally I got one, and then it was a value add, right? So it needed all the cosmetics. And Dylan, I am not a handy guy, like at all. And so I didn't know any contractors. I didn't know how to do the things. And so thankfully, the center on my basketball team grew up on a farm and he was pretty close. So I called him up and I was like, Nate, will you help me rehab this house? And he's just like, well, I don't know. And I was just like, dude, I'll pay you $25 an hour. I'll get you a new tool set and then I'll just work under you. I'll do whatever you tell me to do. So then literally every day after work for the next 6 months, again, I go to the property, we basically eat Chick-fil-A and there's a Lowe's right next to it. And that's pretty much what we do for 6 days, 6 months straight, every weekday and then weekends. I threw my back out at the property. Long story short, all the things happened and it ended up appraising. I bought it for 100. I put 22 into it. And then it appraised at 150. And so the bank gave me a loan for 120 when I was all said and done. And so basically I bought that house for $2,000. If you can do the math, I was all in at 122. It appraised at 150. Bank gave me a loan for 120. $2,000 is what I ended up buying that house for. And cash flows, I still have it to this day. It's gone up over 100,000 in equity since. And yeah, that was kind of proof of concept.
Wow.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
So I wasn't expecting, all the moving pieces there. That was kind of I would say an arduous undertaking, right? You went for a fix and hold, right? You didn't know where the help was going to come from. You had to call your center on the basketball team and say, "Hey, you going to help me?" Funny you mentioned Chick-fil-A. I feel like Chick-fil-A and Lowe's or Home Depot is a common theme. There's a lot of I've done this before myself when working on flips. You'll go and you'll say, "Hey, we're just going to get Chick-fil-A for everybody." Everybody loves Chick-fil-A, so that's a good motivator. It can certainly make up if you're not exactly sure of how things are going to go. That deal, it was an on-market deal. So did you have in your mind, hey, I'm looking for a buy and hold? That's ultimately what it became. But were you very fixed on that, or were you maybe a little agnostic to exit strategy? What was your thought process then?
Yeah, I wanted to buy and hold real estate. That's what I thought was going to be my ticket to being wealthy and rich and, living the dream life that I wanted. And so that's what I did. I did BRRRRs, and I did the first BRRRR. It worked out. I then continued to do BRRRRs for the next, 4 years while the market was doing what it was doing until, 2023, 24 is when BRRRRing got pretty difficult. And that's when I slowed down on the BRRRR strategy. To give you context, I was doing like 20 plus BRRRRs a year with a full-time job, like just, humming, right? And I skipped through part of the journey here where, I lost $68,000 on my next house, and then I hired a coach. And then I plugged in the coach's systems, and then everything took off. The next year I bought 22 properties. And then every year after that, I bought 20 plus properties. And so anyways, that really changed my life. And then the market changed. Right. And so now,
Right.
The BRRRR strategy kind of went extinct or very more difficult to do. And so then pivoted to, fix and flipping / wholesaling. And, at this point I do have we gross over $1 million a year in our flipping company. And then I've also got the hard money lending. So I help other flippers fund their deals in our market, and extending out to other markets where a hard money fund is getting launched here in a couple weeks for across the board here. But
A couple ways I want to go with this, Wyatt. So first is the BRRRR strategy. I got in, you mentioned 2023, 2024. I got into real estate in 2023. I started wholesaling in 2023, which it was the time to get in a sense, because things were changing. So if you could find a niche, it was good. But at the same point in time, some of these more traditional, like the BRRRR strategy, it was more challenging. It was harder in some ways for people to find deals on the MLS and just say, hey, I'm going to put some money into this and it'll appraise for more. And then here we go. It wasn't necessarily working like that. I want to, point out too that you had the ability to pivot. You had this strategy that was working, 20 deals a year for multiple years, BRRRRing out of them, hired a coach. So you're thinking like, okay, this is going to be good for a while. And then within 5 years, you have to pivot, or about that time frame, you have to pivot. Was there any internal dialogue like, man, I just got to make this work. I got to figure out how to do these deals better. Or did you see like, hey, this has run its course. The market has shifted. I've got to kind of keep my knees bent and pivot here.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
I think that's a great question. I was just out with my mastermind members, and I was just telling them on the same subject here. The person, it's often not the smartest person that wins. It's the person that sticks with the problem the longest. And so I got a 19 on my ACT. I am by no means smarter than most people, like most people in general. But what I have done is I've stuck with the problem the longest, because what'll happen is the market will shift. And what we haven't covered is, I went into multifamily pretty heavily in 2021, 2022. So I actually pivoted from single family to multifamily multifamily then became extremely difficult. I've done syndications. I've done 7 multifamily deals myself. I've been the GP on everything that I've done. But then multifamily got extremely difficult. And by the way, I'm vertically integrated. So I've got the full management team. Like, it's all my employees doing the work, right? And so it got extremely difficult to do and make numbers work when property taxes, insurance went up, labor went up, and then prices didn't adjust accordingly and interest rates went up. And so it was very difficult to make things work. And one of the biggest pivots that ever happened to me was, Dylan, just being real with you, in 2024. Okay, so what is that? Last January. I am literally sitting in my living room with my wife. We are multimillionaires in equity, but our cash is going to zero because of all the operating costs. I'm all in on multifamily, right? And multifamily is not working. Like, the cash flow I thought I had was getting chewed up. And so I'm sitting in the living room with my wife in tears because I think I literally tell her, like, I'm going to have to go get a job. Like, we're set for 10 years from now, but like right now we're coming to a cash crunch where we're going to end up at zero. And so thank God I didn't. I actually went and I applied for a company that I quit my job in 2021. And thank God they didn't get back to me, because I was like, you know what? This single family thing worked pretty well for us. So then we started marketing again for single family. Last year we did 650,000 in revenue for single family. This year we're on track. We'll do just about double that. And that's all cash, single family, fix and flips and wholesales, in addition to the BRRRRs that we're doing. So, the pivots, you have to pivot when the market adjusts, and speed and pivoting is really speed of implementation to market. Once you start to see the factors, that's what allows people to innovate and win, in my opinion.
So many different rabbit holes that I could go down here, and asking you about pivoting into single family, also scaling a fix and flip business, also which markets that you're involved in and looking at deals. But, the takeaway for me talking to you here, Wyatt, is having that ability to pivot. Also, being able to be proficient in different asset classes so that when necessary, you have that ability. It's not some totally foreign skill set. And then also the vertical integration, title company, management, I imagine, acquisitions. But we are coming up on time here, though. Where can folks go if maybe they're in the Nebraska area and they have a deal they'd like you to take a look at, or if they'd like to reach out to you and get some feedback maybe on their own journey?
Yeah, great question. Well, I feel like we just got to the tip of the iceberg here. But if you guys enjoyed this podcast, you want to learn a lot more about me, I'd say go follow me on my YouTube channel. The Wyatt Simon, WYATT SIMON. You can find out, you'll see walkthrough videos of me doing the BRRRR strategy where I run through all the numbers in detail so you can see what I'm doing. You'll see me doing flips. You'll see multiple flips that I've done this year and the actual numbers, how I found them, all those things. So if you guys want to learn how to do these things, check out the YouTube channel, and I'll see you there.
Wyatt, thank you so much for coming on the show here today.
Thanks for having me, Dylan.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.